Baby mine, don't you cry. Baby mine, dry your eyes. Rest your head close to my heart, never to part, baby of mine. Little one, when you play, pay no heed what they say. Let your eyes sparkle and shine, never a tear, baby of mine. If they knew all about you, they'd end up loving you too. All those same people who scold you, what they'd give just for the right to hold you. From your head down to your toes, you're not much, goodness knows, but you're so precious to me, sweet as can be, baby of mine.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Disney Movie Stack. I am your host, Ray Gootz, and this is episode 4, Dumbo, with Ray DeVito. I feel like this is a running joke. I still haven't created the Instagram and the Twitter for this show. I promise I will do it this week. I've just been very busy. Christina Gulston's back. You don't know who that is? She's a comedian that stays with me sometimes. The insurance adjuster was supposed to come check out my roof that caved in, and his wife went into labor yesterday, so I had to deal with that. Not that I had to deliver the baby or anything, and then I had to catch up on some work, and I just got booked at Dangerfields tonight, so a lot of things going on in my life. I wasn't able to get around to creating it, but I will. I am going to create it. I also did 2 awesome episodes this week in the future with Casey Aurora. We watched Fun and Fancy Free, and Melody Time with Andy. I forgot how you say her last name. She just told me. She's literally just left my house. And Jasmine was a big fan of her. She was great. She was awesome. I actually wish I had her for Little Mermaid because I feel like Little Mermaid's success. The thing about Little Mermaid, not trying to jump ahead since we're still like literally in the 30s, but Little Mermaid's success was all about Howard Ashman's frustration with Broadway and the modern musical and just the limitations that stage presents. And I feel like if Little Mermaid was not a musical, there'd be no Rise of Skywalker right now. We wouldn't be like fucking they wouldn't have been able to afford to buy Avengers Endgame. So do not step, Jasmine, do not step on the recording equipment. But that is for another episode, right? Today we are talking about Dumbo with Ray DeVito. Now, a little background on how I got to know Ray DeVito. Eric Bronstein, who is going to be an episode way in the future, he's another comic. He could not do a road gig. And he was like, hey, I'm going to link you up with this guy, Ray DeVito. He has this show at the Creek. He just wants to meet you. I hadn't met him before. And I don't know why, but before I met him, I had assumed that he had a wife and kid. And when I met him, he goes, hey, I can't talk long. I got to go somewhere. I'm like, oh, your kids? I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife. I mean, he's just a guy by himself. So we started doing road gigs together in 2015. We hit it off. We go to Uno's a lot. $3 Coors Lights, and now that I'm eating healthy, I have the veggie burger, but they also have half-price appetizers if you feel like eating like a pig, which you should. Uno's is way better than Applebee's. If you're in Astoria, the Uno's is way better than Applebee's. But we do road gigs together. He lives by me. He's a cool dude. He's a really great guy, and I kind of picked him for Dumbo because I was like, he's positive. He's a comedian. He's he's always got a smile on his face. He seems like a guy who would enjoy Dumbo, and he saw Dumbo a bunch of times as a kid, which I didn't know. So what we find out on today's episode. So that's Ray Devito. You're gonna hear him, all about him, and you're also gonna hear about his thoughts on Dumbo. And I love Dumbo. Dumbo was in my top 5 until I saw Little Mermaid again recently, and now I have to say Little Mermaid's in my top 5. But Dumbo would be 6, or maybe I would tie Dumbo with Little Mermaid. I'm not sure, but Dumbo was such a fantastic film. I used to watch it on TV all the time, and actually with the Mickey and the Beanstalk segment from Fun and Fancy Free, which is episode 9 that's coming up. But it's a terrific film. Dumbo, and I think you're really going to enjoy my conversation with Ray DeVito about it. So we're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back with Ray DeVito and his thoughts on Dumbo. Thank you for listening to Disney Movie Stack. Hey, welcome back to Movie Stack Disney Edition. I'm your host, Ray Gootz, and today we are talking Dumbo with Ray DeVito. Ray DeVito, how are you?
I'm doing good, buddy.
Yeah?
Just hanging. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Me and Ray are chilling here with my dogs. Ray, let's get a little background on you. How long have you been doing stand-up?
Too long, man. Too long.
Too long?
Let's see. 17 years, maybe?
17 years.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. And what made you get into stand-up comedy?
You know what? I loved stand-up comedy like when I was younger, like when I was in middle school and high school, and I thought everyone liked it. And then it wasn't until like I would watch like those young comedian specials and comics like Fred Stoller and Judd Apatow. Like I thought everyone knew those names, like they were household names. Mm-hmm. And then you get to school and like you tell other kids like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And yeah, I was just always a fan. And then I don't know, just got into it that way. Started performing open mics and stuff. And a brand new album just came out of mine. Let's talk about that. Well, that crowd liked me.
Yeah, your new album's good. It's your second album, correct?
Yeah, it's my second album.
And how's it performing? Are people buying it?
You know, it's doing pretty good, man. I know people are buying it because, I get some notifications. But also, like, you could tell when the most popular tracks, because they'll get, like, little stars next to iTunes.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, that they're the popular tracks.
Oh, cool.
So, it's cool.
It's cool. And where can people buy that album?
iTunes, man. iTunes. Ray DeVito. I'm a CD Baby. I don't know how you did your distributing.
I did. I forget the company I did mine. Yeah.
But they put it on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, like it's on iTunes, Spotify, and all that. And they even got me an artist page. I'm a certified artist.
Oh, okay.
On iTunes.
So certified, so you know he's not a scam artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's certified. So, Ray, tell me a little bit about your childhood. How was your childhood?
Oh, gee, I feel like I'm in therapy.
This is what this show kind of is, yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Well, here's what's weird, man. We lived in I got two sisters, one 2 years older than me, another one 2 years younger. And growing up, we just had it was a 2-bedroom house till I was 12. So I had to share a bedroom with my two sisters till I was 12, and we just had one bathroom that we all 5 had to share. So crowded, I will say crowded.
Crowded.
Yeah, and then both my parents worked full time. My dad was a carpet salesman. My mom worked at a insurance company, and yeah, just I guess middle class or whatever. Just I got good at annoying my sisters, just to get them away from me to create my own space.
Okay, cool.
Good at that.
Were you guys, and you can also answer for your sisters since they're not here to speak for themselves. Were you guys heavily into cartoons as kids?
Here's what I did. Before my dad was a carpet salesman, he owned a video store. Mm-hmm. So Video Annex in Vermilion, Ohio. So that was from let's say 1982 to about 1988.
Oh, he had one in 82.
Yeah.
The very start of it.
Yeah, it's the beginning. It's back when it was VHS and beta.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also because I sold video games, so I had all the video games like ColecoVision, Atari, Odyssey 2.
So this guy was ahead of the curve, almost 2 ahead of the curve.
Yeah, it was pretty cool as a kid. Looking back at it, that was pretty awesome. We had all this stuff, but we would because he had a video store, we would watch movies nonstop. It's kind of like put a movie in, and the kids shut up, go watch the.
Yeah, go watch the new movie.
Yeah.
So what cartoon movies did he show you guys? Or cartoon series?
Pretty much every Disney movie.
Okay.
But also it wasn't even so much cartoons because we had bootleg Star Wars before Star Wars was even.
Oh, they recorded off HBO or something?
No, it's before. It was
Oh, somebody must have. How did they get a bootleg Star Wars?
My dad was in the video industry.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Someone just had the file or something. Well, there wasn't files back then.
Yeah, but we had a bootleg version of Star Wars that I used to always watch. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I was more like Tron, so it wasn't so much cartoons as much as
more live action.
Yeah, because I mean, dude, when we were little kids, Star Wars was the shit.
Oh, yeah, no, it was, yeah.
But as far as cartoons, I guess DuckTales.
Okay, but that was later. That was on TV. So was Disney? So you just mentioned DuckTales. That leads me to my next question I ask every comedian. So was Disney a big part of your childhood?
You know what? Like I was gonna say, I saw Dumbo probably the most out of all the Disney movies out there. But yeah, I wouldn't say not crazy much, just because I was more into Spider-Man, X-Men, and I was more comic books and because we had toys He-Man, He-Man cartoons. So I was more into that when I was a kid.
You know what's funny? You haven't worn the Spider-Man and X-Men. And now Disney owns all of that.
Really?
Yeah. And Star Wars. You're I'm into Star Wars. Disney owns all those things now.
Yeah.
They didn't back then. But they were we're going to get this fucking Ray DeVito.
Yeah, so that's how they got me. That. But that's what I was into. I wasn't so much into even as a little kid, I wasn't into the kid stuff.
Yeah.
I was into mainly because those were the toys.
Okay, yeah.
Before I ever saw Star Wars, I had Star Wars toys.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Isn't that weird? I knew who Luke Skywalker was.
My mom bought me Star Wars toys because she was they're going to be valuable one day.
And that's why.
Yeah, she's this is kind of a mini investment. She would go out of her way. She got me Boba Fett. I think when I was a baby. You know
wow.
What I mean? Yeah, because I remember, I think there were articles.
You had to send away for Boba Fett. Boba Fett was the one you had to.
As soon as it came into a store, my mom went and bought it. She told me that story because it was in all the newspapers how popular Boba Fett was.
Wow.
The figure.
Well, your mom was ahead of the curve. My mom missed it because she tried it with Beanie Babies.
Oh, really? Well, I knew a guy who made a living selling Beanie Babies. So
that bubble bursted.
I know. So so you already revealed that you saw Dumbo as a child, which is great, and I'm really happy that I picked you for Dumbo because you said you've seen it more than any of the other movies. What did you think of Dumbo as a child? What are your memories of it?
I just remember booze being. I remember I just remember booze, and we have just watched it, so I rewatched it. So now it cleared me up. But I was always under the impression that the crows were the ones drinking all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know why. I thought they were the ones. Just remembering back as a kid, I assumed they got Dumbo drunk.
Yeah, and you know what? The other thing that you assumed, and I actually assumed that too. And they used to show this on Channel 5. You didn't grow up in New York, but Fox 5, they would show it like every couple of Sundays as the Sunday afternoon movie. That Dumbo has that black feather for like a while in the movie.
That's what I thought too.
Mm-hmm. And then I assume that like there comes a crisis where like the circus is in danger and Dumbo has to save everybody, and he loses the black feather. But then he learns how to fly anyway and saves the whole circus. But that's not it. He doesn't save anybody. He just tells them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
So real quick before we get into real deep talk about this movie, what did you think of the movie now seeing it as an adult?
Tony Martin speaking with a reminder. Alcohol and gasoline is an explosive mixture. Drive carefully, and if you drink, don't drive.
Okay, we're back to Movie Stack Disney. Just to give the audience a little background before we continue our conversation. So this was the fourth movie that Walt Disney made, fourth animated movie. And he had only had one hit, Snow White. Pinocchio was a bomb, Fantasia was a bomb, and he needed to do something a little bit more on the cheap. Plus he had a strike. In the middle of making Dumbo, there was an animator strike. And that caused a lot of problems. So you need to make something a little bit cheaper, a little bit more like on the fly than these big budgeted, like grandiose movies like Fantasia and Pinocchio. And this was the movie he came up with, and this was the most successful movie that he made in the 40s financially, and the movie came out on October 23rd, 1941. But its worldwide premiere was October 31st, 1941, which is a weird day to put out Dumbo considering it's Halloween. But speaking of Halloween, Ray, you were talking about how the movie's depressing, so let's continue that.
Yeah, it's the fact that like he doesn't even start flying till there's only like 5 minutes left in the movie.
Yeah,
that's like
he's getting shit on the whole movie.
Yeah, it's just everyone's horrible to him, mean to him, and then that's like if you went to go see Spider-Man and he's just Peter Parker for the first hour and a half, and he's Spider-Man just the last 3 minutes, you'd be like, this is. But somehow the movie worked. I mean, it was a successful movie.
It's a good movie, and the animation, if you compare it, because you haven't seen Pinocchio or Fantasia in a while, but I just have. If you compare the animation from Pinocchio to Fantasia to this, the animation level is way down. There's a lot less details. The characters are not moving as elegantly as those, but it works.
I thought it was all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that we're two old dudes. No, we're not old, but two dudes. And we're sitting here enjoying Dumbo. We're not bored, We're not like this is stupid. We're still enjoying. Means the movie still holds up.
Yeah. I and like you were saying something like they're thinking about getting rid of some of the stuff in the movie.
Yeah. So when they put this movie on Disney Plus streaming, this is why I went and bought. This is why I started this podcast. Why I bought these movies on DVD and Blu-ray. They're going to edit out the scenes with the Black Crows, the Jim Crow. They're based off Jim Crow caricatures.
Right.
They're going to edit that out where he gives them the black feather, which to me, that's like editing out.
That's the best part of the movie.
That's also like editing out Ben Kenobi giving Luke the lightsaber.
Right.
Well, then where does he get the lightsaber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Like those are like you could see
they're racial, but also that was the time.
Yeah.
Well,
the Crows were honestly, the Crows.
You said they had the best song, you thought.
Yeah, but they were also the best characters in the movie. They were the most compassionate. They were the nicest characters in the movie. They were the
only characters who believe in him.
Yeah, they're the only nice. They're the only ones that are nice to Dumbo. You're getting rid of the only people that are nice to Dumbo. They're the best people. They're the best characters. They're not.
Well, they're kind of like people.
You know what I mean? They're the best characters and the most lovable characters in the movie, and the best characters, the nicest, the most compassionate. They're the only ones that are nice to him. Everyone else is shitty to Dumbo. And you also pointed out something very funny, that Dumbo's not even supposed to be his name.
No, his name is supposed to be Jumbo.
And
the bitchy women are like, fuck it, his name is Dumbo, and the mom just goes with it. Like I said, that would be like if your parents brought you home from the hospital and went to the neighbors this is our son Ray, and the guy was like, yeah, more like gay, and your dad was like, well, I guess we're just gonna call him Gay DeVito.
Yeah. Yeah, his name's Ray. He looks more like an asshole. All right, his name's Asshole. There's my son, asshole.
They're like, really? Yeah, no, I guess it works. I don't know.
And also, I didn't realize. I don't know why. Like, think back. I thought the crows were the ones that got drunk. I didn't realize that it wasn't the crows. They just acted like they were drunk, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's. I kind of thought the crows. I see. Like, I feel like they're. You know, you ever heard that thing, the Mandela effect?
No.
Okay, the Mandela effect is a lot of people remember that in the 80s, Nelson Mandela died. And
Right.
Reagan gave a speech at the funeral that like brought the world was in tears or something. When he didn't. He didn't die in the 80s. But people have a memory of that.
Oh, wait. I didn't know. Mandela's dead now, right?
Yeah, he's dead now, but there's a lot of people.
Wasn't he like in prison or something?
Yes,
I don't even know.
He dies in prison.
Okay.
And like it kind of shifts the world because people got really pissed. And like the other countries said to South Africa, this is bullshit, and that never happened. But a lot of people out there in the world have this memory of that happening and there being a worldwide event. His funeral was like a worldwide event and stuff. That never happened. He died later on out of prison. He was a president. You know what I mean? He kind of like redeemed himself.
Divorces his wife. I just know that from stand-up jokes.
Oh yeah, he did. Oh,
Yeah,
every
the fact that
great
he's
man
in prison,
divorces
but
his
he
wife. Yeah, that's
but
what
he
you
had
do.
to divorce his wife. He could put up with this, and that, but he's like, I'm not putting up with her for 5 more minutes.
But I feel like this movie too because I've always felt like this movie was longer, and when I got it on DVD a couple years ago, I'm like, it's only an hour long. I thought this was longer, and I thought there was way more flying stuff, and I thought the crows were dicks, and I thought he saved everybody. I thought Dumbo like saved his mom, and he doesn't save anyone. Like I just had this whole memory of Dumbo.
Well, everyone's a dick to him except the crows.
Even the mouse is kind of a dick because the mouse is only nice to him because he thinks he can make money off of it.
Right? Yeah.
Which is, the mouse is ahead of the curve, which you have to give him that. He's kind of like Disney himself because everybody. I brought this up in a few other episodes. I'll bring this up to you because you weren't on them. Everybody laughed at Walt Disney when he said, "I'm making Snow White." They thought he was gonna shut down the studio. They thought nobody was ever gonna want to see an animated film, and he went on to make millions.
Wow. Yeah.
So I almost feel like the mouse is Disney because everyone's laughing at this elephant, and he's like, "No, I believe in the elephant." And then they get wasted. Let's talk about getting wasted.
Yeah. Watching it now as an adult, it's like, it just tells. Well, here's the champagne bottle falls in the water,
Yes,
and
from the clowns, who are celebrating that they had a really good set, so to speak.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the conversation from them were like comics on Long Island or something, like the way they were talking.
And so the water it accidentally falls in the water, and that's what Dumbo and the mouse drink. And then, but all that tells kids is booze is awesome.
Yeah,
that's the first time they're having fun.
Yeah,
is when they get fucking wasted. Oh, am I allowed to curse?
Yeah. This is an official Disney podcast.
Oh, okay.
I've been cursing. Barry Ribs broke that rule 3 seconds into the first episode. He called Snow White a fine ass whore or something.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, I won't curse if just in case some Disney people want to listen to it to keep it Disney.
Show up. Who are you to record an R-rated Dumbo podcast?
Yeah. Who's like R-rated Dumbo? Like, yeah.
Who wants to listen to our filthy Dumbo?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it just pointed out that good things only happen when you're wasted.
Yeah.
It turns out they're not wrong.
No, they're really not wrong. No. It's just the funny thing is that they had a good experience. Well, I don't know if the mouse drinks a lot, but Dumbo had a really fun first time. Here's the other crazy thing. So I always thought Dumbo just saw the pink elephants, right?
Right.
But the mouse does too, which leads me to believe that the clowns had LSD in the champagne. Because why are they both have the same hallucinogen?
Yeah, that's not how champagne works.
I think there was LSD in that champagne.
Oh, I think they were just doing it so they can have like a little montage or just something to add to the movie.
No, I know.
Yeah,
it was definitely a good montage. It's one of the things that everybody remembers from this movie is the pink elephant scene.
You know what? I didn't remember that.
And it's very like abstract. It almost feels like because this movie's very paint by numbers, animation wise, until you get to the pink elephant scene, and then it's almost like a trippy It's almost like the 60s before there was 60s.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like a trippy, like it's really kind of cool. But it does go really long.
Yeah. The thing that's weird about it, man, like the movie really is a downer.
Yeah.
It's only uplifting the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's otherwise. I mean, it ends happy, but everything else is just like, how much can this dude get beaten up? Like everything's just horrible. Everyone's mean. Everyone's
And where's
a
the
jerk
dad?
to him. Yeah, I don't know where. Yeah, there's no male elephants.
No.
Who's impregnating these female
Well,
elephants?
Only one elephant got impregnated. I don't know why those other 3 didn't. No one fucked them.
Yeah.
You know.
I just thought that was weird. What is too? And also telling people that storks bring babies in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. I wonder how that got started, because that's a pretty insane lie to tell kids. Because then when they find out the real way babies, like imagine having that conversation if you're like 16 and you're like, I'm just waiting for the stork to drop off my baby, and some guy is like, no, actually, I gotta shove my cock.
Right.
Your thing hole or whatever they called it back in the 40s. But yeah, that was the other thing, the stork, and there was no male elephants. What was your favorite song?
The crow song.
Yeah, When I See an Elephant Fly.
Yeah, I thought the crows are the best part of the movie.
Yeah, they also. I think I like the Baby Mine, and I like the Pink Elephants on Parade. I like the score. There's like, I like that song. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I just like the crow song.
Right.
The
I like the whole music.
yeah, I didn't realize how depressing this movie was. Like, it's really not uplifting until the last couple minutes. Otherwise, it's just a downer. It's like, all right, we get it.
Yeah.
He's down. Everybody hates him.
By the way, how funny is it that this group of women have just decided? You had the funny line. These women have just decided we're all going to hate a baby.
yeah.
Like, can you imagine if you went up to a bunch of comics to stand, like, see that baby? Fuck that baby.
And everyone's like, yeah, you're right.
You're right.
We also will hate that baby.
Yeah, let's just shun this baby. Make sure it doesn't.
Yeah. That's how, I guess that's how it was back then. I don't know.
You just say fuck baby.
Yeah, just, this baby. Well, I hate this baby. I think we all should hate this baby. If you do that, like, everyone should like shun the lady that said, I hate this baby. Like, that would be the lady to, like, all right, well, we won't hate the baby. We'll hate you for telling us to hate a baby. So, yeah, they just hated him for years.
This is the second movie of Disney's animated films to come out on home video. It came out on June 26, 1981 on VHS and Betamax. And your dad got it right away, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they put it out again in 1985, and then again in 1991, and again in 1994. So that's the reason why I think so many people have seen this movie. It was constantly out on VHS, where a lot of the movies, like Snow White, didn't come out on VHS till 1994. And by that point, I'm 13. How old are you in 94?
I'm just finishing high school.
Oh, okay. So that's why Snow White wasn't really a big part of your childhood, right?
No, I remembered.
Dwarves.
That's I do a joke. One of my first jokes I ever wrote. I still do it from time to time about like Cinderella, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty.
Oh yes, yeah,
all of them. It's all just some chick that passes out. And the only way to say it is when a dude that doesn't know her kisses her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's date rape. That's that's date rape. That's not. Yeah, if you don't mean Prince Charming, you should be thankful. Hopefully, he's in jail for date rape because that's where you go. That was always like a weird message to tell young girls.
Yeah.
Like just pass out. Some guy you don't know will start making out with you.
Well, that's Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, definitely. Cinderella, she's conscious for that.
Oh, all right. Maybe you know what? I never took that out of my joke.
Cinderella?
For years, I've always
Cinderella is fully conscious, making her own decisions. I'm still trying to think of that. No, Little Mermaid was conscious the entire movie.
Yeah. Were these written by Bill Cosby? Now you know where Bill Cosby got his.
That sounds like a good idea. I want to give some more background on this movie. During the production of Dumbo, Herbert Sorrell, leader of the Screen Cartoonists Guild, wanted Disney to sign with his union rather than the IATSE, which with Disney already signed. Disney declined twice, saying he would put it to a vote. And when they put it to a vote, Disney still stuck by his guns, and the staff went on strike. And because of this strike, it kind of ended like the family atmosphere of the studio, and that's when it stopped being like a family working together and more like a business.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so this movie was like kind of like the end of an era over at Disney, where Disney's not your friend; he's your boss now.
Right.
Which kind of like always happens. Like when you start off something small. Like right now, you and Bob Biggerstaff are doing a show at what do you call it? Snowdonia?
Oh yeah.
When is that show? So listeners.
That's second Thursday of the month at 9:00.
Yeah. So you start off doing a show with him with good intentions. Now let's say the show blows up, and next thing you know, you're like on a tour, Madison Square Garden. Eventually, you guys are gonna start treating it like a business. You know, like
oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that always happens. You start off with a nice artistic vision, and then all of a sudden, you now have to be the boss. You know.
Right.
Yeah. But so this was the end. This was a big end of an era for Disney.
So this is their last, like, hey, we're
Where
all
they
buddies.
were friendly, but they were also making Bambi, and that's the next podcast.
What wasn't? Well, I don't know much about Walt Disney, but wasn't he a jerk? Wasn't that like part of the thing, or he wasn't? I don't know.
Signals. I mean, watching these because I've watched all the special features on these.
Well, also, by the way, to be that big and that famous and that successful, you got to be a dick to some people. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you gotta
be a little cutthroat. I mean, also because you're becoming big and successful off ideas that no one has ever done before,
right?
Which is animated films, which is like completely that's completely out of the box. So you have to be cutthroat because most distributors and most like people in the movie industry at that point are telling you that you're a fucking idiot. You know,
right,
for doing this. I heard mixed signals that he was a dick. I think he was. I think I'm pretty sure he could be a dick.
No, I'm sure, but you got like Thomas Edison is like the most famous inventor. Well, it started out it was like him and his brother, and he just kind of like fucked over his brother, and just like this is
he
me doing everything.
When I watched the special features, they kind of talk about Disney like he's a saint because they're making. This
obviously, yeah. I mean, if they're making it,
but
through
what's
whose
interesting
lens?
is when they get to 101 Dalmatians, which are the '60s, and the Jungle Book. There's kind of hints that he was not that happy with those movies, even though I think they're awesome. And you get more sense that he was an asshole. They start revealing that he's more of an asshole when you get that close.
You know what? If we
60s.
go back in time to the question you asked me, I remember as a kid seeing the Jungle Book in theaters and loving it.
Oh yeah, because they put that out in theaters a few times. Yes, Jungle Book.
Yeah.
I
remember loving and being scared of that snake and everything.
The snake. Oh, how the tiger, Shere Khan.
Yeah. The Bear said I had the album and everything. I love that movie.
The album.
As a little kid, that's probably my favorite Disney movie.
Okay, see, Pinocchio's mine. When's the last time you saw Pinocchio?
Oh, geez, I don't even remember. I'm sure I saw it. I don't. I know
that one has a lot of. That one has a scene where
does his nose not grow until the last 2 minutes?
No. There's a scene where
they save it all at the end.
They say it's a cigar, I've already talked about this. If you can listen to the Pinocchio episode of Freddie Goldstein in our archives, but. There's a scene where he's smoking a cigar and it looks like he's toking marijuana. Like he's reacting like he's smoking marijuana. Pinocchio.
Oh, really?
Yes, I feel like
so everyone's like drinking and getting all their characters are just drinking, getting wasted,
except for Fantasia.
They're little kids.
So boring. Yeah. So let me ask you a question, Ray DeVito. Are you ever planning on having children?
I doubt it. I don't. No, it's not in my future. I'm not. Yeah, okay. I'm not saying I'm against it, but I'm not.
You know, when I met you, I thought you had like 2 kids.
For real?
Yeah, like I didn't know much about you because Eric Bronstein said hit up Ray DeVito. He needs someone to go on the road with him. So I hit you up, and you said something like I have to get home, and I said, oh, to the wife and kid. I don't know if you remember this. You're like, no, I'm single. And for some reason, I had in my head that you had a wife and 2 kids.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had this whole. Maybe that was the other thing. Some time traveler went back and erased your wife and kids.
Oh, jeez. For their benefit.
I was like, you said something. I have to hurry back home. Like, oh, for your kids? No, I don't have any kids. You probably don't remember that conversation. It was like
I don't.
I met you because I did your show and I met you when we talked outside. You were like, this is the date I want to drive out here. When we did the Cherry Festival around October. That was the first time we went on the road. Where
was that?
That was the night that you said that girl wanted to fuck me, and I
yeah. You could have got laid that night.
Yeah, but when we went outside the creek to talk about maybe me going on the road with you, you said something like, "All right, I got to go in. I got to rush back home." And I.
Well, you also had to get home.
No, you had to get home that night from the creek.
Oh.
And I said,
I forgot why I had to get home. I don't
remember, but I thought it was for your kid. I thought you had to get back to your kids, but you had no kids. They didn't exist.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought you had a wife and kids.
I don't know why I had to be in a hurry to get back home at 10 o'clock. What the hell?
In 2015.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So let me ask you this. If you had a friend, or let's say even like your sister, would you recommend them showing Dumbo to their kids?
I would recommend Jungle Book.
Over Dumbo.
Yeah, I would be more like Aladdin, Jungle Book. I think there's better Disney movies. It's okay. I didn't think it was great. And also, like, it's kind of depressing. Like we were talking about, it's depressing until the last 5 minutes. Otherwise, just a downer.
Oh, I got some more information that I want to share with you. This is interesting. In 1968, a writer, Richard Schnickel, in his book, The Disney Version, proposed that the Crow characters in the film were African-American stereotypes. The leader Crow, played by Cliff Edwards, was originally named Jim Crow for script purposes. So
wow.
They called him Jim Crow. However, all of the other Crows were voiced by African-American actors who were all members of the popular all-black Hale Johnson Choir. And
yeah, they were good singers. I like that song. That was the best song in the movie.
So he's criticized the portrayal as racist. Other writers have rejected the claims. Defenders note that the Crows form the majority of the characters in the movies who are sympathetic, which is what you said, to Dumbo's plight, that they are free spirits who bow to no one, and they are intelligent characters aware of the power of self-confidence. You know, unlike the step and fetch it stereotype. Furthermore, the Crow song is more about mocking the mouse than Dumbo's ears.
Yeah.
And but actually, here's the great thing.
They're the only characters with good hearts.
I know.
And they're the only redeeming qualities.
When you edit them out, you're admitting that, Disney was a racist when he did that. Which I don't think he was.
No, they're the only compassionate characters, and everyone else is a huge asshole.
To me, that's like if you did Dumbo in 1996, and
you're just editing them out because they're black. That's more racist. Yeah. That's more racist than them being in there.
This is like if you made Dumbo in the 90s and Coolio and like his gang of hip hop artists like hit up Dumbo and teach him how to fly, and you edit out years later. But it's like, I
have a great Coolio story.
Okay, give me 1 second. We'll tell you. But Whoopi Goldberg actually has said that the Crow characters should be merchandised by Disney.
Yeah, they're the only redeeming characters. They're the best characters.
And they sing the only song that everybody remembers.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
So Whoopi Goldberg's out of the curb. So what's the Coolio song?
I don't know that I like that I'm on the same page as Whoopi Goldberg because she's out of her. No, I don't mind Whoopi Goldberg.
I like her. She hates you, but it's weird.
My Coolio story. This is back in probably spring break in like 97 or 98. So this is
oh boy. Alexa's going.
Put your album on iTunes.
It's on there. Alexa does that. I already put it on. I gotta get rid of this reminder.
Okay.
Right, so start your story over again. Let's restart.
I don't know that.
Alexa, what did you think of? Alexa, what'd you think of Dumbo?
Sorry, what was that?
Alexa, you're the worst podcast guest ever.
I'm reminding you. Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Jesus Christ.
She's just gonna keep talking?
No, she's actually gonna shut up.
I'm reminding you.
She's gonna shut up in a second.
Put your album on iTunes.
This is kind of okay.
But my album is on iTunes.
I know.
It's That Crowd Liked Me.
Yeah, available on iTunes. You can.
I'm reminding you.
All right, this is gonna be the last
album
one.
on
This is gonna be
iTunes.
the last one. The audience is riveted. By the way, that's an ad for Alexa. If you want to have an Alexa app, that'll just ruin your podcast. So tell me the Coolio story.
All right, so this is spring break, like 98 in Panama City. Did you ever go to Panama City, like spring break?
No, it's a good place.
It was, if you remember, it was always on MTV
Yes.
and stuff. It's a madhouse, just a drinking fest. But there's a place, Spinnakers, where like to get in the nightclub is like $15. But they had a Coolio concert one night, and the Coolio concert ticket was like $18 to see Coolio. But if you do it, you can get into the club for free afterwards. So it's like for $3 you can go see Coolio. Wow. So of course I'm going to Coolio concert. And we're at the concert, and Coolio, this is right when Gangster Paradise and was out and all that, and he's trying to tell everyone, like, this is what it's all about. We got white people, black people, everyone coming together. It's all love and positivity. And then he was going to bring someone on stage to sing Gangster Paradise with them, like to sing or something. Yeah. He's like, and that is all positivity. And we're going to get someone up here to do this song with me. And some kid takes out his demo tape and throws it on stage at Coolio, and it hits Coolio. And Coolio goes, after just saying peace and love, goes, who the fuck did that? Who did that? And everyone points to the kids like, you beat the shit out of him. And like everyone just starts pummeling this kid right there after.
You should know about that on stage.
After just 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the only one that saw the irony. Like, did you not just see how you were all about peace and love and how we all got to get along? And just sat there and encouraged people to beat the shit out of this kid for throwing his demo tape on stage. It was the most insane thing. That's my Coolio story.
I love it. Dude, you gotta tell that on stage.
Ugh.
I think that just made the podcast. All right, so I think that about sums it up. I think we had a good conversation about Dumbo, and I personally think it's one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. I don't know if it would be my top 5 anymore because now that I've seen more movies, I think it's a little bit lower than the top. I used to have my top 5 like for years. Now I think
what is your top? I know Jungle Book and Aladdin are probably my 2 favorite. I don't know where I go
my favorite
after.
is still Pinocchio. Second favorite is Bambi. Third is Lady and the Tramp. And then fourth, I think now I would put Fox and the Hound, and fifth would be Little Mermaid because I just watched Little Mermaid last night, and that movie is really fucking good. But let me save what I think about Little Mermaid till we get to Little Mermaid podcast. I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, okay.
But that movie is...
And Rescuers. I liked Rescuers.
Rescuers is a great one, too. That might be in my top 5 as well. Rescuers is a great movie. That's one that nobody talks about.
We just did.
I know.
We brought it back. We brought Coolio in.
That's why we're doing this podcast, to bring some of these movies back so people remember them. All right, Ray, where can people find you on social media and stuff?
At Ray Devito on Twitter. At Ray.DeVito on Instagram. Check me out on iTunes. Well, that crowd liked me.
Yeah, and I would let DeVito plug some upcoming dates, but I don't know his podcast coming out because I want to record some few more episodes before we make this live. But yeah, you can also follow me on at Ray Gootz on Instagram, Twitter, and also make sure you follow us Disney Movie Stack. That's going to be on Instagram and Twitter as well. And thank you so much for listening. And Ray, any parting words to all the Disney fans out there?
Enjoy the movies. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
And be nice to Coolio.
Be nice to Coolio.
Don't
Don't throw your demo tape of Disney songs at him. All right. Good night.